Gotham Season 3, Episode 11, Beware the Green-Eyed Monster. Now, this episode, I didn't realize was actually the mid-season finale, but going through it, it was really entertaining. Because we go through this episode, and Lee's fiance, well, he was still fiance, became husband, and I guess ex-husband now. He has a really cool story through this episode, because of course he's losing it, and he wants to torture Jim. So he beats him up. He beats him up like crazy in that beginning scene. He's throwing him around, and then he tosses him through the window. I was like, that was actually a pretty cool sort of destruction sequence. And he writes Arkham and stuff, and he was really evil genius in this episode, and I actually thought that was amazing. So he goes through, and he's torturing Jim. He sends him to Arkham and stuff like that. We get to see Tetch again. And so Jim realizes what's going on. He's like, crap, he's infected. And it was all Tetch's plan, which I thought was cool, because I was like, he's kind of losing it. Like, he's giving him all these crazy hints, but he doesn't mean to. And I was like, oh, he did. He was just effing with him. So, he finds out who it is, and he's like, crap, Lee's in danger. And so he's like, he arrests him, and he has him, they have him run the test like 3 times. And he's freaking out. He's like, I know that he's infected. I know that's why he sent me there, so that I could get this answer, and so that things could kind of play out the way that they are. And he just didn't get what the main plan was at the time. And I thought that was really cool. I was like, alright, this guy's like evil genius mode, and Jim's going through all this stuff, and he's like, I just don't see how, what the heck is going on here. And then when he finally gets to Lee at the end of the episode during the wedding, he's like, I get it now. Like, he wanted me to know everything, because he knew that I'd have no evidence, and he knew that I would just seem like the crazy jealous boyfriend trying to get you back and trying to break your heart. And I was like, man, that's like some really good evil genius stuff. And Lee even says it works. And Jim decides to admit everything that happened, like him going to the house and stuff like that, and not having the really not having the spirit to go into the house after he saw the two of them together. And I thought that was interesting, and it actually made Lee cry. I was surprised that she actually was affected in that way. So when it played out like that and she was still affected, but she still decided to marry him, I was like, oh man, that's when I started to get a little worried, because I didn't think about it at all until she was like just about to get married. And I was like, what if he killed her though? Like, that would be an insane ending to the episode. Like, if he actually killed her, because he just still lost it, and he was super close. We keep going through. Jim gets like destroyed during that one scene at the wedding. That was like the one time he ever got just beat upon. Like, any other time, he's like blocking and throwing people, through windows, and he's just like, it's basically like he knows martial arts, and everybody else sucks. But that was the one time it was fairly realistic, especially when that one guy just punched him like straight in the face, and he fell back like over another person, and they just like beat the crap out of him. But he goes through, and then of course Lucius, towards the end of the episode, he tells Bullock, he's like, hey, this is how he could possibly beat the test. Like, his blood was like off the charts for this certain chemical. So they realized that Jim was telling the truth. They end up finding him and stuff. And by that time, they take off. Falcone is in there. And honestly, I cannot freaking wait for this show to come back, because it started off, pretty nuts. It was already crazy as it was. Like, what the heck is going to happen here? Then it gets to the ending. They know that Falcone's son is guilty. They know that he's infected and everything like that. They know Lee's in danger. And Jim wants to do it himself. So he shoots the 2 guys in the leg, which was a pretty badass moment. So he shoots the 2 guys in the leg, and he's like, look, I want to help her. Like, I want to be the one to find them and bring them back. And he promises that he'll bring his, Falcone's son in alive. And it took, I don't know, it was like, what, half a second? As soon as he made it there, and that's when he, I still don't remember his son's name. I just call, I think, Moroni. I don't know. But as soon as he gets there is when he sees him with the knife behind Lee, and he just shoots him, and he just kills him. And also, they did the thing where the knife dropped. So I'm super curious how that's, why that was so significant. Because at first, I thought they were going to do it where she, was just going to lose it and call him, like, insane for, killing her husband. But, of course, once he takes her back, she'll be like, oh, everyone knows that he truly was infected, so she can't really be mad at him for too much longer, even if she's mad now. But I just thought that was really interesting. I think maybe the knife thing dropping and being, like, washed away is like, you didn't really know what he was doing, or no one's going to believe that he saw him with the knife or anything like that because the knife is gone. So I don't know. I feel like that was why that was such an important moment, to show the knife kind of get washed away into the water, because that was the one little bit of evidence where it's like he actually had this knife on him, and he was right behind her with the knife in the air, and I didn't have a choice. I had to shoot him because he was right there, ready to kill Lee. And I feel like because there won't be like the murder weapon, at least Falcone is going to be the one that doesn't believe him. But I thought that was a crazy way to end the episode, and it's just like she's stunned and he's dead, and I was just like, man, he is so freaking screwed. Like, he killed his son after promising him, and things are going to be a disaster. But we also find out that the Court of Owls knew that Falcone's son was infected, which is very interesting because I didn't think they had any clue about that sort of stuff. I thought, two totally separate things. And we find out that they were trying to kill him because they knew that he was at least an issue. It was like, he knows certain things, and simply put, they knew he was infected, so they wanted him dead. And I just thought, that's really weird. And maybe it's because he's Falcone's son, so they know that he has a certain amount of power, and if he goes nuts, it's like, that's a bit of a liability for us. Like, we're connected with his father, but he could just flip on a dime and cause his father to do something else crazy. So that's why they wanted to get rid of him. And it just brings up all these questions, like, who specifically, like, who is connected in that certain, within the Court of Owls that knew about Tetch's blood and all that other stuff. So I thought that was really cool. Of course, we have a couple of other amazing reveals in this episode. Nygma finding out that Penguin actually is in love with him, I thought that was great. And he actually teams up with Barbara, Tabitha, and Butch. So I love that. Like, even the scene when he went in the bar, and so they do it where Barbara, she takes the knife away because she saw him come in first, and then Tabitha has her glass and she just breaks the glass because she's about to stab him, and Butch takes the gun out. But I love that scene. I thought it was really funny at first. But them teaming up, and now he's like, I don't want to kill him. I want to torture him. I can't wait to see how that plays out either. That should be really exciting. And then, of course, we have, for whatever reason, Selena's mom came into the show. Never would have expected that, honestly. They go through the whole thing with the Court of Owls. They take out Talon, which I thought was very cool. I didn't see that one coming, but that guy was super freaking tough. But it was still cool because I was like, man, he beat Alfred last time. I was kind of hoping Alfred would be able to beat him on his own, because I thought that would have been really cool since he beat him last time. Or since Talon beat him last time. I was like, that would be really awesome if Alfred was able to kind of get one up on him. But they needed help. The dude's like a super assassin, so logically it does make a ton of sense. Alfred is so sweet in this version of Batman. I'm just like, I kind of just want to see him do it. But Selena's mom comes in and she hits him over the head, and he stabs him through the throat. So he's down. And we get the reveal that it's Selena's mom, and it was super quick. They didn't really focus on it, but she had like super sharp fingernails, kind of like cat claws. So I don't know exactly if something specific is going to go on there, if they're going to change some other stuff with the story about her actually being like a Catwoman or something like that. I don't know. It was just kind of that specific sort of thing, like, oh, he's Catwoman and this is Catwoman's mom, so they gave her like the really sharp fingernails. So that was just poof. That's thrown in there. I don't know what to expect about that. It was really interesting. Like, she recognized her mom, so her mom left, recently enough, I guess. So I am curious what this means for the show. Like, they added in a new character. They killed off one of the villains, so now they don't have like this. The Court of Owls, at least at this point, doesn't have the super assassin anymore. And I guess it looked like it was just like a crystal owl. It was, they were able to get that and they took off. So there's something inside of it, or you put a light on it and it change colors, or something's gonna happen with that big thing. So I'm not sure what to look forward to with that, but I am excited to see where they go with it, because obviously that's gonna lead to something against the Court of Owls. I assume that they know it's Bruce at this point. Is like, okay, we killed all these guys off. It has to be somebody else, and the only other person would probably be Bruce. So I'm assuming that they're gonna kind of come after Bruce once the season starts up again. Still haven't seen anything on the clone in quite a while since he was picked up by Catherine. So sure, that'll be coming back into the fold once the season picks up again. But has some pretty cool reveals. So we got a new team up starting, with Nygma and Tabitha, Barbara, and Butch. So I'm excited for that. I don't know what to think. With what's going to happen with Penguin. Super excited to see how he kind of plays around with this idea, and then just all the madness of Falcone versus Jim, Falcone versus the Court of Owls. Um, Jim's connection to the Court of Owls that still hasn't really been brought up yet. We've just had like that one glimpse with the ring. So we somehow his family's connected to the Court of Owls as part of like one of the ancient families of Gotham, that sort of thing. So I am looking forward to what they do when the season picks up again. I actually thought this was a really good mid-season finale. There are a lot of things that really the most epic thing was the actual ending, but there are so many good things where it's like I can't wait to see where this leads to. It was just like the introduction of really great stuff, particularly Nygma joining up with the other characters. Selena's mom coming back into play, that has me very curious, but I'm not like super excited about that. Like the Court of Owls thing is probably my least favorite thread at this point, but I still don't hate it. I still enjoy it. It's just, I guess because I know the Court of Owls and this is like the early version, it's not as intense. It's just kind of like, it's almost like it's just a murder mystery at this point. Court of Owls, when it comes like Batman, is like really psychological and like really, really weird and crazy and stuff. And I feel like they haven't gotten into that. I feel like they had it more with Galavan because that was kind of his thing, and they don't have it as much as they do with the Court of Owls because he had it where it was like super crazy and dark, and he's like, yeah, ancient families and blood sacrifices and stuff. And the Court of Owls, that's kind of their thing where it's like super weird and crazy, eyes wide shut type of stuff. And in this version of Gotham, it's kind of like they're almost just like a secret business, and that's really it. Of course, they killed Bruce's parents, but it hasn't gotten into like that super deep stuff with the Court of Owls. So that's why it kind of isn't blowing my mind. I'm still enjoying that storyline for sure, but it's not like holy crap, I can't wait to see what happens next. But I am still excited, and now that they've done the thing with Selena's mom coming in, it of course makes me wonder, was this solely because she's coming back for her daughter, or did it just so happen to be that she's looking into the Court of Owls as well? Are they connected to the Court of Owls? That sort of thing. So I am curious, but the other stuff has me more excited because it just seems more dangerous. I guess at this point, it just feels more dangerous and immediate. But still enjoyed this episode. Definitely want to know what you guys thought about it. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And I want to know what storyline you guys are most looking forward to seeing return once the season picks up again. Because, like I said, we have Falcone is definitely going to put a hit out on Jim. Falcone is going to be going up against the Court of Owls. The Court of Owls, of course, versus Bruce. Um, and then Penguin is going to be in his own little war again. And then I guess his war plus the Falcone war on both sides of the fence. All that stuff is going to culminate again. I think we're going to get some crazy stuff akin to the first season where it was a lot of mob war stuff. So I think they might at least somewhat be headed back to those roots, which I think that was kind of what everybody liked from the first season. So I think that'll be pretty cool. I'm excited to see it. We also got to see Zaz in this episode, which was funny. Like, he showed up, and I'm just like he just keeps showing up at random to just screw people over. It's like, what is he doing? He's just going around sometimes. I just wanted to mention that because it was funny when he showed up. I was like, the last time we saw him, it was just like, hey, man. And it's like, crap, he's holding up Butch and Tabitha. And this time, he's just like, hey, Jim. And it's like, what is going on? He just shows up to, randomly halt people. So I just want to mention that because it just made me laugh when he showed up. But like I said, I want to know what storylines you guys are most excited for when the season returns next year. And of course, I want to know what you guys thought about the episode in general. So please comment below, let me know. And thanks for watching.